Okay, all flight controllers, go for landing. Retro, go. Rhino, go. Guidance, go. Control, go. Telcom, go. GNC, go. Ecom, go. Surgeon, go. Capcom, we're go for landing.
Welcome to another episode of In Conversation with Leon. Me, your host, the one and only, the man himself, Leon Javi. What a great day that we're having today, because today we're studying something exciting. So, in the building, in the studio, and our podcast, everybody, all the way from Namahali, Palau right south, currently located in Mangwen Polokwane, doing a course that is so wonderful called Bachelor of Accountancy at the University of Limpopo. He's a producer of the In Conversation of Leon, a producer of Divine House of Praise, an inspiring businessman. I'm telling you guys, this guy is a philanthropist. Not excluding the fact that he's a music director. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Masuku Lloyd, aka Major Case.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome again.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know today we're entering in a new series in Conversation with Leon that we are calling I Can Explain.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be making a trend hashtag I Can Explain.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what will be happening in and I Can Explain is more of like we're going to be addressing extraordinary issues that people are faced with or people that have experienced. We're talking about abuse, we're talking about depression, we're talking about all sort of stuff that may be personal to them. So issues that people don't talk about, we are going to be talking about, involving people who actually experience those things where they get to explain. So I believe this series is going to be an amazing to each and every person who will be listening to this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be an amazing series because we are trying to normalize talking about things. You know, as people, as human beings, we usually do not talk about things. And also in this I Can Explain series, it also includes terms that people don't really understand. You know, we're going to be talking about political issues, economic issues, environmental issues. It can be global warming, it can be climate change, or that one that is like a peak of the moment right now. I feel like it's Black consciousness. You know, you being proud of being Black, you understanding for who you are as a Black person. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very interesting journey. So yeah,
it will indeed. And then good thing is that what brought you here today is because of what we're going to talk about. I Can Explain, specifically looking at mental health.
Yes.
So just to brief on what actually mental health is by definition, is more of a psychological well-being or absence of mental illness. Some will say is a state where someone who is functioning at a satisfactory level of emotions, behavior, or adjusting on how we think, feel, or act. And some may say it helps in determining how to handle stress, relate to other people, and make choices. I think that's how people get to define what mental health is all about.
Yeah. That's exactly on point. Funny enough, the irony is we're talking about mental health, and I'm experiencing one right now. You know what that is? It's performance anxiety. I'm here, I'm like on the spot. I'm like, I hope I do well, and I make sense in every way. You understand? So yeah, Vela, today we're going to be talking about those issues, and it's gonna be a journey. I feel like it's gonna be a journey. So yeah, we can go on and just discuss about them.
Yeah, and remember everybody, we have a Facebook page In Conversation with Leon. So what you're gonna do, we're gonna be posting this podcast after then, so where you get to share some of your mental health related issues that you have experienced that we'll be talking about, so we can open a circle of openness. So take us through on like how you have experienced the whole issue in terms of mental health.
Okay, first of all, the issues that I've went through are solely based on experience, and to note that I'm not a professional, right? I'm not a professional. That means that most of the issues that I'm going to be talking about today are self-diagnosed. It means that you can self-diagnose them, of which means that you can self-remedy them. You understand? So yeah, today we're going to be talking about, let me be specific. We're going to be talking about doom scrolling or doom surfing. We're going to be talking about gaslighting. We're going to be talking about performance anxiety, and also we're going to be talking about hyper-empathy, as in empathy that is way too extreme for people. You understand? Yeah. So yeah, we can go ahead and start about talking about the doom surfing. Okay, doom surfing basically is a new term. You know what's happening with doom surfing is that it's about internet, social media. You understand? So what we're dealing with right now is that people are so into social media, are so into their gadgets that they even forget about other human beings. You can literally, someone can literally just talk about somebody or talk to somebody while they're in the same room through a phone instead of talking to each other. So it's so crazy. But then with doom surfing, it's about surfing the internet. When you go through the internet, when you're scrolling down your Instagram or your Facebook, when you get to just, let's say in a day, you get to just focus on negative things, bad news, everything that is really negative, that is so saddening, that is dealing with you that will make you feel down at the end of the day. Those things actually affect you, and without us noticing, most of us actually experience that. You'll be surprised as to say, why am I down today? Because I woke up happy, so it happens like that. So with doom scrolling is really, really, really that simple, and you can literally just understand it, and you can discover if that's an issue, and it's very, very simple to actually resolve it. So with doom scrolling, we are actually looking at how when one is just focused on the news, and then I'm like, this world is horrible. You understand? Especially with what is happening with the pandemic. We are just dealing with death, dealing with political unrest. Countries are fighting with each other. Now we're dealing with this Black Lives Matter. Although it has been there, it's just that right now it's at its hype because of social media. You understand? So with that doom scrolling can also be effective in terms of affecting you in social media. Let's say, for instance, in Instagram, you scrolling down the news feed and you're just going there, all the stories, and you see people out there, they're living the life, they're enjoying, but you are stuck in one room. You're still struggling with school, you're still struggling with a lot of things, and family also, they're going through a lot. And that just weighs down on you, because people your age are living their life. With this forex thing that is happening right now, people are just rolling with money. They're so rich. You're like, But then the case is that what you need to understand is that those things aren't really what they are. They're not really what they seem to be. Because in most cases with Instagram, people just posing for the picture. People are just posing to just gain followers. It's not really what they're living. It's really sort of fake. Because I remember there was a trend, Nyana, on Twitter about Lasizwe. Lasizwe was so paranoid to a point that he was even claiming that he owns a house while he was not. He was just renting. That kind of craziness. Yeah. So with dealing with doom surfing, the only solution is for you to make sure that you avoid anything that is negative on social media, because I feel like most of the time social media has just bad news, that's it. But then when you try and just move out of it, that will help you a lot. You understand? Mm-hmm. So it's very helpful to shy away, just move away from bad things. And a better solution, just whenever you're feeling you're always feeling that you're down or you're stressed, just forget about it. Just leave social media for 2 weeks or a month and you'll be fine.
And talking about that, this is wow, my third week. Yes. So I was in a month trial, the whole of October, without Instagram, without Twitter, without Facebook.
Yes.
And man, to be honest, I'm leaving, because the only thing that I left was WhatsApp because of school.
Yeah.
Because communication is very important. And it really shifted the whole mindset of negativity that you're talking about, man.
Yeah,
like
it
big
does.
time.
It does.
Yeah.
It helps a lot. So we should be talking about the next one.
Yeah, let's go deal with the next one, which
Okay.
is gaslighting.
Well, gaslighting is very, very, very tricky. Gaslighting is very tricky. But in most cases, people refer to gaslighting in terms of relationships that like are romantic, instead of also referring to them also in friendship, and instead of business partnerships, all those things. So with gaslighting, it's a form of abuse, of emotional abuse, obviously. This one, you get to be a victim, not really, but then you are a victim of a villain in a way. You are a victim, but in that sense of a relationship, it's either romantic, it's either friendship, you are the villain in that relationship. They make you feel as if though you are the one who's doing everything wrong. Whatever you do doesn't make sense. Whatever you do is just basically wrong, and it's always your fault. Whenever there's a fight, you're the one who started it. Whenever when there's a disagreement, it's your fault, it's not mine, it's your fault. And I've experienced that. Like, oh man, romantically that was a journey. Like, it was really a journey. Tell me about, like, yo guys, even till this day,
Yeah.
there's a girl who still makes me feel like I'm the one who's wrong, and I'm always apologizing. Because I don't know why, I feel like I was wrong, but then when I look at it, I got time to analyze the scenario, and I found out that no, I'm not the one who's really wrong here. She was just way too stubborn, and that's a bad thing, because right now another person will be suffering because of what's happening with her, because she won't be able to fix herself. You understand? So with gaslighting, you with the signs are that you start feeling like you're losing your confidence in terms of in that relationship, friendship, and then you're making excuses for your partner. It's very hard for you to make decisions in that relationship. It's very hard for you to say that I need to just let go of this relationship. You're always like stuck there. You feel like you owe it to them to be there for them, while it's not. You're supposed to be getting out. You understand? And feeling like everything that you do is wrong. That's basically it. So the only solution with gaslighting is to just start realizing and start building your confidence. Just start to think, no, I'm not wrong. I need to get out. Because if you don't get out, you will lose your vision. Because with gaslighting, you intend to lose your vision. You intend to just put your whole life on hold just to satisfy that specific person. Now you become a different person to that person, because like it's no longer you. You no longer recognize yourself. You're always confused as to say, who am I actually? I don't even know what am I. So it's always confusing. So the best solutions for that, guys, honestly, I feel like for your listeners, I feel like you need to recognize that you are the victim. It's also, as I've mentioned the signs, you need to understand that also if ever you see goods like it's happening, that no, I have the signs, it means that you need to see a therapist or a psychologist. Counseling, for students, they always have a counselor in the institution, and also in the workplace. I feel like there are psychologists. There are like big companies that have psychologists, so it's very helpful. And the last thing is to have guts to say, no, I'm leaving, I can't deal with this anymore. You will feel lighter, happier, with less stress. You just be happy, and you start to build your confidence after leaving, because you can't build your confidence in the relationship that is intimidating you, that is downgrading you. You can't. It's impossible. Understand? So it's a crazy journey.
It is, isn't it? Because dwelling more on what you're saying, like what you're saying is very true.
Yeah.
And again, I think also, as a person, we need to know our values.
Yeah.
So like when you enter in a relationship, like you should know that actually this is who I am. I cannot tolerate this. I can tolerate this one. I feel like values are also important, and also before we enter in relationship for the sake of other people, let's regroup ourselves, because sometimes we enter in a relationship broken, sad, feeling that somebody will complete us, and this, I feel like this is one of the consequences of the whole thing. And then you just elaborated it more on the mindset, and I love it.
Yeah, because like with relationships, it's rocky because it's really difficult. With relationships, man, you need to make sure that when you go into a relationship, you must gel your values with the other person, not them dominating their own values on you. So you need to make sure that you balance that thing, because if you can't, you'll be drowning. There's a word that is always said that talks about this issue. It says that people like to say that when I'm with this person, I'm like this, or I'm a different person when I'm with this person, or it's because they are busy controlling you and they are changing who you are. You're losing yourself in there. You must not lose yourself. You must always rise up. Relationships are about compromise. Compromise doesn't mean that you have to give your whole self to that person and you just disappear. No. Compromise is about making sure that the person and your both personalities have to gel with each other instead of one disappearing. You understand?
Sure.
Yes. So also there's a weird example that once a friend of mine gave me. Talks about how let's say it's a snake, right? It's in the fire. That she used to say that I'm that kind of person who's gonna try to save the snake. Even though the snake bites me, I'll keep on trying to save it. So you understand that I was like
it's a snake.
Yeah.
Run away.
You can't, man. Like you're there trying to save it, like no, it's not the snake, it's me. I just have to save the snake. So it's a crazy journey. So yeah. So that's gaslighting, guys.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Now let's get into, I feel like this is one of the most topics that a lot of people are facing in terms of the academically and the performance of anxiety and stuff.
Yeah, performance anxiety, man. Performance anxiety is a problem. It's really, really big, and it comes in as. For us as black communities, we face a lot in terms of performance anxiety, because let's say for instance we are in a situation where you are in school and you have young siblings that are at home. They're expecting you to make sure that you pass and you get to finish school. That puts you in a really, really rocky spot or spotlight. You understand? It just makes you so having anxiety in terms of you studying and you understanding the concept that you're supposed to be studying, because you are in a race to make sure that you finish and you take care of your family.
Sure.
So it's always a problem, and that with that happening, it also will contribute to this thing of having procrastination in your life. Usually what they say is that procrastination is usually because you do procrastinate because you are trying to avoid the bad emotions that you will encounter in terms of doing that task. Let's say for instance you are saying that, let's say you are writing next week and you want to study now. The thing is, you're telling yourself that if I study, even though I study, I know that maybe I'll fail, or it's just useless for me to study because nothing will work out at all. So it's that kind of anxiety that comes within procrastinating. It's like, man, okay, let me just leave this bad drama that I'm feeling right now, just relax and chill and watch Netflix or something. So that contributes a lot, in terms of performance. So performance anxiety also anchors procrastination. So the only way to resolve this, I feel like, one thing for sure is that whenever it's a time thing, usually when it's a time thing, people don't want to actually sleep. They drink a lot of sugar, drink a lot of caffeines. You need to limit those. You need to also understand that you must avoid having negative thoughts. just always tell yourself, they always say that it's the power is in your mind. Actually, it's all in the mind. It's the mindset. Always have to tell yourself positive things. That's why I'm so very optimistic. Whenever I fail, I'm like, next time, next time I'm sure I'm gonna get this. But then I should also do a different thing from what I did from failing. You understand? So also breathing and meditation helps. Yeah, each and every time before I write, take a deep breath, and then breathe in, breathe out. It helps you cool down, and everything is just perfect when you are avoiding those crazy negative things. Yes.
And I think touching on the negativity part, I feel like this is one of the most important things that people should really take into consideration.
Yes.
Because I have this book called The Secret. It's more of like talking about the law of attraction. You attract whatever that you put in your mind. Like I have tried to play confession, like in terms of the podcast. I knew that where I wanted to be, and I always needed people to move with in the podcast. So I just always had the positive mind. So people are just coming, and it's just happiness in me all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever that I do, whatever that I face, I always put positivity, and it always a game changer for my life.
Yeah.
I feel like people should avoid not only hanging around negative people, but also starting to preach positivity within ourselves.
Is it intra? I think it's an intrapersonal.
Yes, that thing. I feel like it's very important for people to take into consideration. Listen to what you think about or say. Always make sure that it's positive. I think will eliminate most of the things.
Yeah. Okay, so let's deal with the last thing, because we were talking. Okay, I was talking, by the way, like I'm a whole radio. That's what people always say. Whole radio, yeah. So like with the last one, it's hyper empathy. This one has been like the most difficult one to deal with, because with hyper empathy is that there are like a lot of people that might, they have that thing of saying of doing things. Let's say it's a situation you hear about somebody's death or somebody's accident. They take that scenario of somebody experiencing that pain and they put it in themselves. They just absorb all bad energy. That is bad. That's really bad. Absorbing all the bad energy for yourself is not a good thing, because empathy is supposed to be just something that you can do as a skill. It's not something that you should really absorb, because when you absorb it, it becomes a thing for you. You'll be unable to perform really in terms of activities, because for example, me seeing a video where, okay, let's say it's gender-based violence, because I always like had that thing of absorbing all what the lady is experiencing and everything, and to the extent of saying that I couldn't function, I couldn't really believe that as men we're capable of changing. I just had that anger within me just to do something, like, go and fight a person who's doing that thing. So it's not a good thing absorbing all that bad negative energy.
True.
It's the most effective way is to set boundaries. Have limits in yourself to say, I understand that the person is hurt, but then I don't have to sulk the whole day because of that situation. Although, okay, for family members, yes, that happens, but then for somebody who is out there and their friends, like imagine having a lot of friends and they all bring you bad news. You'll be unable to function because you'll be sulking on all those situations, and you'll be like, this happened to this guy, this happened to this lady. It's bad. So don't take things personally, and just try to shift your mentality into saying that this is supposed to be a skill. Also, that don't have that thing of saying that you believe that people need you to be saved. They can save themselves.
Sure.
You understand? it doesn't mean that when someone is facing a mental issue, you just have to keep quiet. No, you have to say something, but don't absorb it.
Yeah.
Don't absorb it. Just try and avoid absorbing it. With mental health, it's a long journey, man. We're still going a long way because it's really important. And okay, especially in the black communities, we don't talk about these things. We feel like it's how do they say it? It's a myth.
Yes,
it's either a myth or something that is like really not true. You understand? Especially with black men. Black men don't talk about anything. Black men go through a lot, and we tend to ask ourselves, why are they so violent? Why are they so like volatile?
True.
Just because they're not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
They're facing things and they just, So I feel like with mental health, you need to start to self-diagnose yourself to say, am I affected by a certain situation? And reading more on mental health will help you to expand your knowledge. And you will find things that will help you understand or try to avoid these kind of situations. Because we are with school, imagine stressing and then now there's school. That's like a lot. A mind can't really. A lot of people actually say that they've been saying that after surviving lockdown, there's no other thing that will come to me and destroy me, because they understand that what comes with mental health. Mental health is just like when you have an engine and that engine is not functioning, you won't be able to use the car. You won't be able to go anywhere. You won't be able to just start it even.
Yeah.
So it's a problem, but then it can be resolved. We need to read more. We need to start talking. I think we should try to make an episode based on types of friends that we can have, because you need to know who you're talking to, because some people will betray you, man.
Big time.
Imagine you text them like, "Hey, I'm going through a lot. Look at what's going on," and then the next thing they post on Facebook or WhatsApp status, and they say that, so yeah,
it's really a lot.
Yeah, it's really a lot. So far, those are the things that I've actually tried to, I've went through, and I feel like I've managed to overcome them, and I'm on top of them. Yeah. Mental health doesn't mean that it's something that is a one-off thing. It's not really about flu. It's not like flu, or maybe let's say it's not like a disease or a sickness that is once off.
Yeah.
It can come back. It can creep in without you noticing. So yeah. That's it.
That's more interesting, and it's a lot that we spoke about. It's just that we have limited time.
Yeah.
But side note, for those who might, because we really spoke about a lot of things, but some of the symptoms or signs that may indicate that you have mental health issues, you should check yourself, like the long-lasting sadness, being irritated easily, extremely high or low moods, excessive fear, worry, anxiety, social withdrawals, because that's what we love doing these days. And those are some of the things that you should check. Assess your life, like you said, assess your life, where you are, and important thing, talk about these things.
Yes.
Talk about that. So Masoko, major keys.
Man.
I really appreciate you coming and talking and sharing with us and teaching us about mental health and those part of topics that you mentioned.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I talk a lot. I hope I make sense, because I always try to make sure that people understand me. That's why in most cases when I'm saying something to someone, do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you don't, then
I think for the fact that I actually understood you loud and clear, the listeners will do the same.
Yeah, I hope they understand and enjoy.
Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you for making sure that you actually being here and listen to the podcast. So really, until we meet again on the next episode, remember, this is a series of I Can Explain. Cheers, everybody.